And I love doing textured buttercream wedding cakes because if anything happens in transport, they're so easy to fix. Imagine trying to fix a smooth buttercream cake on site, very minimal tools, and you're trying to smooth it all out so you can't notice it. If it's rough buttercream, I'm just going in with more buttercream. Say I did this when transport, because hey, it happens. My hand slips. How do I fix that when it's smooth buttercream? It's terrible. No way. So all I'm going to do if it was buttercream is I'll always bring a little bit extra with me regardless. I'm going to fill that back in. And because it's textured, all I got to do is take my offset and make it look like the rest of it. And no one is the wiser that I just stuck my hand right in the side of their cake. All right, guys, even the best of us have bad days. This is what happens when you leave your buttercream out and it's extremely warm. It will peel off your cake, basically like it went on there. These are simply just sliding off the cake because it is so warm. Again, the benefit of buttercream, I can start all over. So I'm just going to scrape these all off. But hey, let's use this thing. My plastering knife. Get a nice, flat, sharp edge and pull all those rosettes right back off the cake. And we start all over again. And nobody will be the wiser as to what just happened to your cake. Not gonna lie, this happens. It has happened. You go to the fridge after just setting it in there because it's been so warm. Don't panic. Our first instinct is to instantly panic. What do? We run in circles, we do a little dance, we might say a few words, we probably shouldn't, but really, honestly, that only sets us back 10 more steps. Don't panic, just take a deep breath, grab your spatula, and start over. It's not the end of the world. The cake does not control you, you control it. That's my biggest, once you get over that fear of your cake, everything just runs extremely smooth from there. I did get a few crumbs there when I pulled them off, so I am going to just make sure they're not in my final cake. And instead of rosettes this time, guys, sometimes you got to compromise. Sometimes your customer just needs to understand, you know what, the weather is not going to cooperate with what they want. So you run with a different option. Let's do somewhat of a smooth exterior using our putty knife to finish it off. So we're just going to take our buttercream, adding a layer all the way around. A lot of times customers will say that their kids won't eat fondant. It's mostly just the texture. It really, to be honest, is texture, and it depends on if it's homemade. Some store-bought fondants are not the tastiest fondants. So they're used to it. Buttercream is nostalgic. It's the supermarkets that have buttercream. It's the stuff you find on top of cupcakes. So most kids eat the icing before they actually eat the cake. So they want something on the outside that's just simply going to be what the kids are going to eat. A lot of people don't like paying for something they're only going to throw in the garbage. Who does? That's like throwing your money in the garbage. So when not putting fondant on the cake, or by putting fondant on the cake rather, and then simply picking it up and throwing it in the garbage, to them it's a wasted product. It's wasting their money and they don't see it worth it. So some people just prefer you go with a buttercream. So taking our putty knife, you can see my fingers are here, so I'm controlling this putty knife 100%. I don't want to hold it back here because it's too flimsy and too floppy. I do want as much control over this knife as possible. So I do put my fingers here so that when I press against the cake, I have 100% control over it. I just want to lightly go around, pulling off anything where I was a little bit too thick, and giving myself a smoother finish on the cake. Now I didn't pull these rosettes off the top, but again, you would pull those off and do the exact same thing as we did before and pull in our edges. Clean your knife, taking your large spackling knife again, just pull those edges in. Again, using the side of my countertop, why not? Just give a nice pull and you get a nice sharp edge on the cake. The benefit and the bonus of having a crusting buttercream, and if I wanted this to be a completely smooth cake in the end, I'm sure you've all heard of the Viva paper towel method. Take a piece of Viva paper towel and go over this and just give it a nice rub, and you get a perfectly smooth cake. Just like that. Don't panic. The rosettes fell off. Your customers will understand. Add a nice border to this, put a few rosettes on the top, and you have the perfect cake.